Despite renewed wobbles on the question of her leadership, Julia Gillard's tonight inching toward her first legislative victory for the year. 2.5 million private health insurance customers are to have their government rebates pared back, helping the government return the budget to surplus. The win looks to be secured after the Greens caved in on demands for an extra $1 billion for dental services, settling for a more modest scheme. Political correspondent Tom Eagledon reports from Canberra.
Some parliamentary traditions never change, others do. The new speakers brought in a public procession through Parliament House to convey him to the chamber.
Oh, I think he'd do better in a suit. Looks more like a judge to me.
I thought it looked very dignified.
The new ceremony hasn't changed the flow of question time.
Stop your idiot interjections. Get out there and tell people the truth.
The Prime Minister's under pressure thanks to revelations her staff prepared a victory speech 2 weeks before she deposed Kevin Rudd.
Can we be sure that her staff aren't writing a concession speech that she hasn't asked to be drafted?
The opposition's taking full advantage of the latest Labor leadership upheaval, targeting questions to Kevin Rudd about the recent leadership coup in the Maldives in which the deputy leader deposed the sitting Prime Minister.
Reports have surfaced that he was involved in coup preparations that began weeks earlier. Does the Foreign Minister agree that the new leader should tell the full truth about his involvement in the coup?
Those opposite seem to think that this is a trivial matter when hundreds of people are being beaten in the streets.
The coalition is deeply focused on our foreign policy in the region.
It was yet another distraction for the government on a day when it should have been celebrating a legislative victory. $2.5 billion will be added to its budget bottom line thanks to a rollback of the private health insurance rebate. The government's negotiated hard with its allies, winning support from the Greens by agreeing to up funding for dental care.
Is that the deal you had to cut with the Greens to get this bill through the House?
Well, the Greens and the government have shared for a long time a commitment to improve the dental care of Australians.
The commitment's about $850 million short of the Greens' demands for $1 billion to be put into the scheme.
We now have a $165 million down payment on getting dental into Medicare. This is a fantastic result.
But few victories have come without a corresponding loss for this Prime Minister. Tonight, the Australia Day disturbance came back to haunt Julia Gillard. New video obtained by the ABC 7:30 program shows how Tony Abbott's words about the Aboriginal tent embassy were skewed to stir up the crowd. The words off camera are spoken by Kim Sattler, a union organiser who'd been briefed by one of the Prime Minister's media minders who's since resigned.
Abbott's just made a statement to the press that the tent embassy should be pulled down. He's over there.
Our Deputy Prime Minister Tony Abbott is over there and he's just made a statement to the press that the tent embassy should be pulled down. Over there! Come and say it here, Tony Abbott!
The misrepresentation of Mr Abbott's words have an incendiary effect.
Tell everybody to go over there.
I was asked to put this message across. Can everybody go over that way?
Let's go look for Tony.
Go look for Mr. Rabbit.
And Gillard.
And Gillard.
The video and the proof it contains that Tony Abbott's words were dangerously skewed for political impact will reinvigorate the opposition's pursuit of Julia Gillard over the Australia Day violence. She's consistently maintained her media minder acted without her knowledge or authorisation, but caucus hardly needs another reminder of the controversy that seems to constantly dog the Prime Minister. Tom Eagledon, Late Line.